Hi everyone! Today's video is going to be showing you the brand new set of 150 Derwent Chromaflow pencils. Now if you've seen my previous video to this, you will know that I've already made a colour family chart for these pencils, and if you're not sure what my family charts are, I try and put all of the different colours in certain families according to the undertone of those colours. So for example, quickly, these are ochre colours and you can kind of do a blend all the way through. These are your more standard yellows, then you've got your red violets, your blue greens and your green blues, you know, it's like that. So this is a free download that you can print off and then fill in when you've got your 150 set, and it just helps you figure out blends first and foremost, but also when you're colouring you might not know kind of what a red violet is, or you know, if you're a beginner colourist, you might not have good knowledge of the colour wheel. So this helps you identify what colours go where, really. So that's a free download, link in the description. And if you want to know more about that chart, I explain it more in depth on the previous video, which I'll also link in the description. So I'm going to be showing you the box and the pencils and stuff, but I have already reviewed the Chromaflow pencils before. We had a 24 count and then a 72 count. And I believe I reviewed them when they first came out as 24. I must have also done a video for when the 72 came out. I'll leave those links in the description because they will tell you loads of information about what the pencils actually feel like and perform like on the page. Obviously, I don't want to rehash the same information again. So I have reviewed the pencils themselves and how they work. Today's video will be about showing you the new set, just taking a look at the pencils, a bit of a refresher on them, and then at the end I'm going to be telling you some hot off the press information that I've received from Derwent themselves, which is going to be talking about open stock. And there's a whole thing about this at the moment in the community, whether or not Derwent were going to release open stock of the extra 50 colours from the 100, and all this kind of stuff's been swirling around, and I've just got some answers today which haven't been put out on social media yet, but I'm told they will be imminently. Excuse me, so I can share that with you. Right, so this is what the tin looks like. It's got this gorgeous parrot artwork by Kinsey Lane, and it's quite a large tin actually, like it's wide, you know. Let's have a look. So I can't even measure this because my tape measure, my ruler's too small. Let's see, so if that's 30, I don't know, I'm going to estimate that it's like 42 centimeters across. So yeah, it feels like a really large tin, but I'm sure if I get out the Inktense tin, wherever that is, oh yeah, here it is. Oh wait, that was only 100. So this is the 100 Inktense tin, just for reference, and that's how much longer this tin is, because obviously 150 colours. Right, so all that waffling behind us, let's have a look inside. So we lift up the lid. It's a really well made tin as usual. We've got some information on Derwent here, and this is all in different languages, but here we've got it in English, and it says the heritage dates back to 1832. They're manufactured in the Lake District in the UK and have been for generations. They're synonymous with quality and craftsmanship, and they're world-class artist materials. So if you didn't know about Derwent, you do now. And then here are the pencils themselves. Now we have 3 pull-out trays, so tray 1 and tray 2, and there at the bottom is tray 3. So on tray 3 you've got some greens going into browns and ochres, and then your greys and some more unusual colours. We also have, I think, 4 metallics in this. We've got the silver, the gold, and then the, I think it's called silver mint. Let me just check. Yeah, silver mint and ice blue. So it's like a metallic green and a metallic blue. And if we just look on the colour chart, you can see those kind of in practice. Here they are, all the metallics at the bottom. Now, metallics, a lot of the time in different pencil sets, can be quite scratchy. The pigment can separate from the binder and it looks really weird on the page. I'm not a massive metallic fan, but I must say that these particular metallics from Derwent are really nice to use. They feel nice, they feel creamy and soft, and they don't have any of those problems that I just mentioned. So yeah, fantastic. We've got a few different metallics in there to choose from, and you know, different to standard metallics as well. Usually you might get a silver, a gold and a bronze, but now we've got some metallics that have a bit of green, a bit of blue, so that's nice to have something different. And on this second tray we have got purples going into blues, blue greens, and then the start of the green selection. And then here on the top layer we've got the yellows, oranges, reds, red violets, pinks just going into the purples. So very, very nice colour selection, I must say. If we have a look at the chart, because it's easier than looking at the pencils, we can see what kind of quantities of colours that we've got. So you can see these top two rows are pretty much all yellow and oranges, just going into the reds here, but more of an orangey red. So we've got quite a few of those flame colours. And then we go into the reds. Now we've only got one pure red, which is funnily enough called pure red, but the rest of the reds definitely have a tinge of different tones to them. So as I said, these are more orangey, and then these afterwards are definitely more pink. So this, you've got your pure red, which I've then put with raisin and licorice if you wanted a really deep red blend. And I'm aware that there is a lot of difference between these two colours, but there is nothing else that I could have put there to make up that difference. So again, it's all how colours look to my eye is how I do my family charts, but everyone's perspective is different. Looking at pinks, we've got some nice violets. This is a kind of magenta. I really like these ones actually because they're kind of lipstick colours, you know, that's what it reminds me of. Really, really nice selection of unusual purples here. These are very grey-like purple pink colours, and this particular blend is one of my favourites, I must say. It is quite unusual. Then we're going into the purples and then into more of the blue violets. So we're still, even though these aren't called blue violet, you've got that down here, I classify these as blue violets because they're purples with a lot of blue in them, whereas these are purples with a lot of red in them. You can tell the difference. That's the kind of undertone difference. Then we go into these more blue purples. So there's still purple in there, but there's more blue. And then again here, even more blue, but still not quite true blue. And then you've got like a greyish blue, definitely more desaturated, these ones. Same as these ones as well. These are more desaturated blues. They've got quite a bit of grey in them. That's how you can tell. And then you've got your sort of true, regular royal blues, moving into blue greens, and then green blues, and you can tell the difference because these have more blues but definitely a bit of green, and these have more greens but definitely a bit of blue. And then you're moving into the aquas, the emerald greens. There's just such a really nice selection of colours in this set. I really like the more unusual tones, as you can probably tell. Really, really like this blend here, the pastel mint, pine green and basil. It's definitely desaturated. Like I say, it's got grey added to it. It's not as vibrant as other greens, but it's lovely and earthy and kind of foresty, and that's why I like it. Same with these greens here. Then we're going into more of an olive green, and here you can see lemon lime, that kind of colour, more of a chartreuse, and going into your browns. The other colours that I really like from this are this ash rose and almond frost blend. These are very vintage dusky pink colours. So there's a lot of that in here, those more desaturated grey tones, same as with Prismacolor. And don't forget that Derwent Chromaflow were basically made as I believe Derwent's answer to Prismacolor, so that's why they've got the thinner barrels, and they're not as they don't feel as sturdy in the hand, you know, as other Derwent pencils. They are thinner, they feel lighter, and they were sort of made, you know, to perform a bit like a Prismacolor. So it's really nice to see that there are some colours in here that Prisma don't have. You can see we've got the red storm, the rose quartz and the lavender ash, which are really, really grey purples. It's like taking these colours here and these red violets and really dulling them down until you get these gorgeous, unusual tones. So really like that. The one area I would say that Derwent haven't done so well on is the greys. So you can see for warm greys, we've got 3 here in a blend. That's perfectly fine. Then for cooler greys, we have the fell mist, moon rock and the charcoal grey, but there's not enough steps between to kind of make up a decent blend with these. You'd have to be really, really light layered and really work up to get a smooth blend with such different colours. But really, even these greys aren't very cold or cool. They are definitely more of a warm grey, but they're just not as warm and elephant-like as these colours. Then we move on to what I would say is more of a cool grey, but it's definitely got a blue tint to it. So none of these pencils so far have any cool grey in them, really. You've got an elephant, very warm grey, you've got a slightly less warm grey, and now you've got blue-grey blend. And the only grey in this whole set that I believe is a cooler grey is this platinum. And I've put it next to black because if you tone down cool grey through steps and steps and steps, you will eventually get to black. But obviously there's nothing in between those two colours to make a grey gradient. It's quite nice to have these blue greys included because oftentimes in pencil sets they're not. So it's nice to see them here, but I do wish they'd have, I don't know, maybe removed the metallics and put in a few more of these cool greys, because I know some people do like using metallics, but the overwhelming majority of people in the community that I talk to aren't interested in metallic pencils. So I think if they'd have got rid of these and just added some more cool greys in here, it would have been a really perfect set of colours. But otherwise, I absolutely love the colours that they've chosen in this set. So yeah, if you do want to know more about the pencils themselves and how they work and feel on paper, testing them, how they blend, testing how they erase, different pencil blenders and things like that, please have a look at the video in the description. I don't want you to think that this video is my review of the pencils, because it's not. It's more like a review of the new set and the new colours. So let's remove these and let's talk about what's been going on lately with these pencils. Now the Chromaflow, they've been a bit of an odd release right from the start, really. I remember when the 24 was released, and I believe it was only released in the US and in India at first, and that was very puzzling to me. It was quite mysterious because I thought Derwent pencils are made in the UK. You'd think that the first place that they were released would be in this country. But I believe that decision was made, and again, don't take my word for it because I don't have, perfect information. I just believe that they were testing those pencils out with the US market because Prismacolor is probably the most used pencil in the US, coloured pencil. It's definitely more predominant than it is in the UK, and it's not very often sold in shops here, whereas it is in the US. So I believe that's why they did that. They were testing it out in the US market first. So we got the 24 set, then we got the 72 set, which was a massive jump, and everyone was really excited, including me. And we just said at the time, we want more of these pencils. They're gorgeous. They're very smooth on the page. They blend beautifully. Yeah, so we loved them, and we got that 72 set. And then not so long ago, we heard that they were bringing out a 100 set, which was, again, just great news. A lot of excitement within the community as well. And then they sort of at the last minute, at least for me, I don't know if I'm behind the times, but brought out this 150 set. And I think that that's going to be as high as they take the pencils. I don't think they've ever done a pencil set that is higher than 150. And of course, Prismacolors come in 150 as well. So that's another kind of thing to show you that they're trying to match up to the Prismacolor. And a lot of people who bought the 100 set when that came out were wondering how they would get their hands on the extra 50 pencils that would come in the 150 set. Now I'm trying to explain this properly. You know what I'm like, I have brain farts, I lose my words. So I'm trying to explain this very sort of basically for me. Because I don't want to get, confuse anybody, because I'm already confused all the time anyway. So yeah, people who bought the 100 set and the 72 set actually were wondering how they were going to supplement their pencils with, if you got the 72, the rest, the 28 that would make up the 100, or if you got the 100 set, you would want the 50 to make up the 150. And Derwent have been quite strong in their replies to people that they will not be releasing open stock for those remaining pencils. Nor will there be any additional sets that you could buy as add-ons. I was in touch with the people at Cult Pens. Love Cult Pens. We've had a great relationship over the years with me reviewing products from them. And they're really, really reliable and a very well-known and well-trusted stationery brand here in the UK. They do ship worldwide, but I'll talk about that in a bit. And I asked Cult Pens if they would be releasing any supplement sets, because that has happened in the past. I think with the ink tents, if I'm not wrong, they sort of made up their own colours from open stock so that you could buy a set of the ones you might be missing. Cult Pens have had so many emails about this. I think I was one of many hundreds of people that have emailed them about this. And of course they've reiterated that Derwent had no plans to release them in open stock or as sets, and it would be quite difficult for them and quite expensive for them to buy in the 150 sets and then break them down into sets that they could then sell. And I think at the time that I spoke to them, it wasn't really feasible for them to do, and that is understandable as a business. You know, they would probably, they certainly, I don't think they'd make money on it. They would, you know, it would be very difficult. I also spoke to Emma at Coloured Pencil Shop to see if she could come up with any sets from the 150, you know, supplement sets, and she even said herself that it would be very expensive to do, and it probably just wouldn't make sense to do it that way. You know, you'd be better off just buying the 150 because you'd end up spending almost that on a supplement set. Anyway, I'm waffling. I hope that you're keeping up with me, but I do have information today from Derwent which is going to turn all of this on its head, because I know that there were a lot of people in the community who were really annoyed about this, about the fact that they weren't going to do open stock. And if you've bought the 150 and those 50 extra colours are used up, you're going to have to buy another set of 150 just for those 50 colours. It doesn't make any sense, and it was so frustrating, you know. And I really wanted to put this to Derwent myself and get some proper answers that I can categorically tell you have come from the company. So I have those answers here today. Let me put the pencils back on the screen, because I bet you're annoyed about seeing my hands flying about all over the place. Give you something different to look at while I explain what I've been told. So on my last video for the colour family chart for Chromaflow, I did put it to you and ask if there were any questions you wanted me to ask Derwent. A couple of you did get back, and I have asked those questions as well as my own. So I'll go through those one by one now and give you the answers. So my first question to Derwent was, if people have already bought the 100 set but wanted to add the extra 50 colours, how would that be possible, as there isn't any open stock or add-on sets available? Is this something Derwent are planning to roll out, and if so, when? Their answer was, we are in the process of making the 50 singles available on our website. Official announcement will follow on all Derwent social channels. So they are going to be open stock. It's such a relief actually that they are going to make them open stock, because there were so many people really concerned about the sets that they bought and whether or not it was a good investment, or whether they'd wasted money because they couldn't replace or add on. So this is going to be really welcome news to a lot of you, I know. The second question was, if they do buy the 150, as in the customer, and some of those 50 got used up, how would they replenish them without having to buy another 150 set? A lot of people have refrained from buying the 150 for this reason. That was my question. Derwent's answer is, customers will be able to replenish the extra 50 colours from the UK Derwent website. Timings will be announced on our official social media channels imminently. So you will know about this officially very soon. And that kind of tied in with the first question, because their answer to the first one was that they're making open stock of the 50. So the second question was not really worth asking, but then I didn't know, did I? So we've got the same answer. Now the third question was, when and where will the pencils be readily available to buy in the US? Because I've had a lot of comments about this as well, a lot of queries. You guys in the US, a lot of you have been buying from Amazon UK or Cult Pens and having them shipped over to you in the US, which obviously costs a lot more because you've got currency, what's the word I'm looking for, like the exchange rate, and then you've got the shipping cost and any taxes or customs that come along with that. and it's just not a great option. It's not viable. So Derwent's answer to that question was the Chromaflow 100 and 150 sets will be available to buy in the US imminently. So here's that word again, imminently, which I believe means very, very, very soon. So it's not a exact answer, but it's good to know that they are on this and they will be coming soon to the US. So you won't have to order from the UK or anywhere else to get them, and they'll hopefully be cheaper for you that way. My fourth question was nothing to do with Chromaflows, but it's a question that I hear a lot and one that I wanted answering as well because I bloody love these pencils. Do Derwent have any plans to increase the colour selection for their drawing coloured pencils? Again, it's off topic, but a very, very popular question. Their answer was, our product development team are constantly reviewing existing ranges and any extensions will be announced in early March 2025. So by this time next year, we will know of any extensions in Derwent's range. Now, they didn't specifically confirm that it would be Derwent drawing pencils, that's true. But I feel like, you know, just in my mind, would they have said that about things being extended in March if they didn't have that in the pipeline for drawing? Or would they have said, we're currently not planning on extending the Derwent drawing line, but there will be extensions to other sets in March? I don't know. It's semantics, isn't it? It's how they've put it. So I don't know whether to take that as a bit of a green light on the Derwent drawing. If it was, I would be absolutely ecstatic. More so, I think, than any other Derwent pencil line, because the Derwent drawing pencils are absolutely gorgeous, blendable, soft, beautiful pencils to use. They're robust as well. They're just fantastic quality. So that's all the questions that I asked, and I'm so excited to bring you those answers. Like I said, there's been a lot of tumult in the community about this recently, and I'm glad that Derwent have eventually come out and said that they will be releasing open stock. I've also seen just this morning that Cult Pens have put together a set. Now let me think of how many it was. I think it was 78. I could be wrong, my math could be wrong. I'll put it up on the screen anyway. And this is a supplement or an add-on set to those who have the 72, the original 72 Chromaflow. You'll be able to get the rest of the colours as one set. Cult Pens initially said they didn't think they'd be able to do this for, you know, it wasn't feasible for them to do, but it looks like they've made it work, they've made it happen. So if you do have those original 72 and you just want the rest of the colours, go over to Cult Pens. They've got that set there for you ready to buy. And again, all the links are going to be in the description that you will ever need about these pencils. So do go there. If this is the first time you're seeing these pencils, definitely go over to my original review so you can really see what they look like in practice. And I'd love to know in the comments what you think about this new information. And yeah, I'm just really excited for it. So thank you very, very much for watching. I'll speak to you soon and I'll see you soon on Colour with Claire.